because I'm still like working on like the way that I'm saying everything and trying not to sound like an 80s broadcaster. So hello everyone, and thank you for watching Jenny TV on peaceandhotness.com. Today I'm here with Lauren Roegele. She is co-founder of yogo.tv, and she's also a head trainer at the Vancouver School of Yoga. I'm so excited to share Lauren's message with you guys. We met for coffee a couple weeks ago, and she was just so inspired and just so happy and so just light, and just really has this awesome message. So I'm interviewing her today, and first question that I have for you, Lauren, is what brought you to yoga? That's such a beautiful story.
Yeah, thanks for asking. I actually found yoga the week I had planned to kill myself. For years prior, I was a pedestrian hit by a drunk driver and recovered, but came back to life dealing with a lot of chronic pain, dealing with sort of a severe post-traumatic stress that went undiagnosed for a number of years, which is why at that point when I found yoga, I was so severely depressed and suicidal. And it was a really difficult time of my life where I generally am a very stoic A-type personality who's very much a doer. And because of my limitations in my body, my left leg was shattered, my lungs had collapsed, I had reconstructive surgery on my face and a ton of dental work and a sort of mild brain injury. And because I was so stoic, I tend to hold things in. Mm-hmm. And it really manifested into autoimmune diseases, if we look at it from that place, from a scientific place, ulcerative colitis, fibromyalgia, which left me with chronic pain and chronic fatigue syndrome and a lot of digestive issues. But it's my belief that came from my unwillingness to process and really assimilate the heavy emotions and sadness that I was going through after such a large trauma. And because I just kept pushing it down and telling everyone I was fine, it got to this sort of exploding point where I dove into this dark crevice. And so that week I decided that I was going to spend as much time as I could with my family. And my mom was doing yoga at the time, which was very coincidental. And she invited me on that Tuesday to come to a yoga class. And it was an Ashtanga class. And if you're familiar with yoga, that's a very fast-paced class, something I had no idea what that meant back then. I just was going to be with my mom. And the class was very intense, and I was 40 pounds heavier than I am today, and I was in a lot of pain, and I think I scared the teacher when I told him my list of ailments. He sort of gave me like a pile of props and was like, good luck. But he was very encouraging and, offered child's pose when I needed it, and I fell back in like a pool of my own sweat in final relaxation pose in Savasana, and it was a really awakening, a large awakening for me, where I felt the presence of this energy sort of hold me like your lover holds you, hold you like your father does when you fall off your bike, like just that really strong embrace. Wow. And I surrendered to that energy, and it in that moment of sort of auspicious surrendering, I realized that I really did want to live. And that I just needed help. And so that was literally the moment in which I finally just let go of sort of my pride and the fight, and I just asked for help and started on a journey of practicing yoga regularly and doing seeing a psychologist, for it was about 5 years that I went and saw him regularly and consistently, and just started diving deeper into my yoga practice and into the wise history and philosophy that lies behind yoga. And that's sort of a really short, long version of my yoga.
Wow, I have shivers head to toe right now. That's it's so funny that we've talked, yet you speaking those words, that's the first time I've ever heard you say that, and I think actually really kind of hear your story. So that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. do you mind me asking, like, when you had actually conceptualized like suicidal ideation, is that something that you wound up sharing with your mom, like how important that class was to you? And oh wow, that must have been amazing, hey?
I literally was like a sobbing wreck after Shavasana or during Shavasana. And so, you know, when that really ugly cry and you can't really get anything up. And so I was that person.
I know that one.
So my mom was like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? What's going on? And
yeah.
So it was a moment where I really poured and said, this is everything, like this, I wanted to die. This is what I wanted to do. I was going to do it on Sunday, and I just realized I don't want to die. And so it was a pretty big family moment for us too.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think we're so lucky as teachers. And I know you've been teaching even longer. You've been teaching for over 10 years now, right?
Not yet,
okay.
But practicing for over 10 years.
Practicing for over 10. Okay. I mean, I think that's one of the beauties of teaching yoga is you get to hear so many people's stories and so many people, like what brought them there, and just how the simple practice, I guess, of yoga and of you know, moving through these postures with breath and awareness can actually create such incredible life change. And that's one of the more compelling stories I've ever heard. That's amazing.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah. So you were saying when we were chatting that the trauma that was caused to your body by that accident created a lot of like digestive issues, you were saying?
Yes.
How did you find that affected your practice and I guess your relationship with your body at that time?
Yeah. Oh man, it took such a long time. And there are many different sort of factors and indicators that came into, and my kitty's trying to play with me right here.
Bring her on.
I know, right? Come on. So it's interesting. My yoga practice allowed for me to really start to listen to my body. Mm-hmm. Which is something I hadn't been doing for a number of years. Yeah. I had really just been, ignoring my body. Okay. And it's not that because when I stepped into my body, I had to address what it was that I was feeling. And it was easier for me to step outside of my body and almost detach myself from my body, to get through the day, to really get through the pain and get through the ailments and the discomfort. So yoga was this opportunity for me to step inside of my body and really start to examine what it was that's going on, examine how I was responding to those sensations and to those sort of like mind fluctuations, and then also start to recognize, like, what is it do I need? What do I need more of? What do I need less of to try and find sort of this place of harmony, this place of balance?
Yeah. And so just by kind of stepping into your body, almost just that connection in itself allowed you to start asking yourself questions about really important stuff. What do I need? What's going to help make me happy? What do I need to thrive in this life is what it sounds like.
Really, it was this moment of yoga allowed for empowerment. It allowed for me to see that in a situation where I felt for years so out of control, yoga reminded me that even in those moments where I felt so out of control, that I had choices that I could make. So in a way, it allowed for me to see that there were little things that I could control that would help make me feel empowered, that help make me feel strong and capable.
Such as being like your breath in a posture and kind of... Yeah.
Yeah. And just responding versus reacting within a deep stretch in that intense moment. Am I going to just like freak out like I normally would? Or am I going to, pause and take a breath and maybe direct the breath in a way that would help me? Or maybe it's because of that day I need to back off a little bit and sort of respect the resistance that I'm feeling. Or maybe it's a day where I want to sort of push my edge a little bit and sort of claim my potential. But that I knew that I had those moments where I could choose. And that was really a pivotal moment for me to recognize that I had some control, that I was a co-creator.
I bet you that's had a big impact in your mothering as well.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes.
From what I hear, I don't have any experience to offer, but from what I hear, that whole whoo brings a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even teaching her, my daughter, who's 4, that she has choices that she can make. And instead of, kicking the kid at the playground because he took her toy, she could take a few deep breaths
right.
and reevaluate the situation and then, have a conversation about it or express her feelings or, talk with me about it or, but that she has these choices.
Right.
Right.
Wow. That is awesome. I think that's probably something a lot of parents wish their kids could have. Hey, don't kick the kid at the playground.
Yeah.